Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave, and this is day 9 of the April daily draws. So let's see what message we get today, and I'll be taking the first card from the Druidcraft Tarot, followed by an oracle card from the Celtic Spirit Oracle. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. We have the Moon card. Interesting. So, we had the Ace of Wands yesterday. We're in the process. The process has begun. That creative process that we've been preparing for. The preparation in itself is part of the process. As I said yesterday, we don't prepare and then begin the process. The preparation, the getting ready, preparing ourselves, preparing all the details and everything, the plans for it. That's part of the process. When we start that, like with the Ace of Wands, it immediately starts to get the creative energy flowing, and the buds begin to grow. And yes, we've got some way to go, but the beginning is there. So we're already creating, and we're moving forward along the path of creativity. Now, the Moon card addresses two issues for us. As we move forward, one of the things may be it may seem a little bit eerie, a bit scary. We may be going into the unknown, and as prepared as we can be, there's still elements that we can't foresee or are not being allowed to see. And, we have to go by trust some of the way to a certain degree. And that can bring anxiety and fear, which is some of the so-called negatives associated with this card. But it's okay to feel the anxiety and the fear. It's a natural response to the unknown. So we shouldn't feel too bad if we experience that. We shouldn't feel as if that things are falling apart and we can't move forward if we begin to experience that. We're reacting naturally to this process, to moving forward. It's how we respond to that anxiety and fear that is the key. If we acknowledge it, and to use the old used phrase, feel the fear and do it anyway. If we can not let the fear paralyze us or push us back or shrink us back from doing what we need to do, we can acknowledge the fear, the anxiety, but then we need to press on past it. Yes, maybe with a little caution, being vigilant along the way is always advisable and even necessary. If you remember when we had the Prince or the Knight of Swords, we were saying with the shield to be protected and to be careful of rushing too recklessly ahead. We talked about that vigilance and caution, balanced caution, not being overly cautious. We can always tip it too far the other way. We can be not cautious enough, or we can be too cautious. We need to strike the balance in the middle. So that's what could be something that this card is addressing for us as we move forward. The other thing also, is that things may not always be what they seem. So we need to be perhaps using our intuition, which would very much fit the moon. Because what we see and hear with our physical senses may not be the whole picture. So we may need to keep listening to that inner voice that we've mentioned before. So to move intuitively forward, particularly at a time when we either can't see much of what's on the path, or we're not sure we can trust what we see. So there's that element to it as well. And the connected to this is about how much we see, in the sense of, in the moonlight, it's an eerie light, it's a strange light. Sometimes we can see shadows, so we can see things that we think are there and not there, and that's where the illusory kind of element can come in. But also, the moon comes out at night when it's dark. And depending what phase of the moon it's in, and whether there's clouds in the sky as well, and how bright the moonlight is, sometimes we can only see a little bit of what's ahead. We can't see, so we have to go a bit cautiously, because it only pierces the darkness so much. It's not like a bright sunshine on a clear blue sky that shines down and illuminates everything with clarity. That comes next. That comes in the morning. That comes when the sun comes up. So maybe, there are times when we enter this kind of phase where we don't see clearly enough. We don't see everything, and we wonder if we can trust everything. We've got the elements of fear and anxiety to push through, but it should still not stop us from moving forward. You've got the two hounds here, or the wolf and the hound, whatever you want to call them, depending on the decks. They're all howling at the moon, but maybe one is supposed to be the tamed, like the tamed hound, who perhaps more controls his wildness. So it's like we need to keep a restraint on our nature. Don't panic. In other words, by the fear and anxiety, don't lead into a wild, uncontrolled panic or other reaction. But let's stay confident. Let's keep going forward along this path. We know that we've got these pillars here to say we just need to go between those. That's the way forward. So we may have a point. It's like a checkpoint. We know we need, as long as we stick to the path and go through these pillars, we're on the right track. So once we reach the pillars, we know we've reached a certain point. And so there'll be markers perhaps along the way. But we maybe can't see any other markers other than these yet, because they've not been revealed because of the dim light. But we have to trust in our intuition and keep moving forward. Okay, let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Sacred Waters. Look at that. Deep healing, emotions, pilgrimage are the key words here. We've been talking about healing. This is an opportunity to deal with the waters here. Are these the sacred waters, or the waters in our emotions that could bring, from which comes this fear and anxiety? So maybe we need to let the sacred waters heal us of that, bring deep healing. We've mentioned about the healing when we had the herbalist. So this again may be an opportunity for deep healing, particularly emotional healing, which will help us move through the reaction of fear and anxiety that we may feel with this card, and then moving forward. So let it be a healing process. We said that this process could be opportunity, that as we move forward, we don't have to wait until we've completed the healing in order to move forward. We can be healed through the process that we're going through, because it will provide opportunities for healing, etc. And we just need to trust in the process, trust in ourselves, listen to that small voice within, and keep our confidence as we move forward. And that is today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 10. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.